Okay, I am going to do a video on this because I was unable to find any good information on my problem with my hatch on my Jeep Grand Cherokee 2014. And the hatch is technically known as a liftgate, and we're going to take a look at what's going on here, try to help some people out. This is a pain in the ass. So problem is, you go to open the lift gate with this button and you get nothing. By the way, it wouldn't open with the key fob either. It's kind of obvious, but sometimes you gotta state the obvious. STO. You try to open it with the interior button, this guy, and you get nothing. You try to open it with the handle on the lift gate and you get nothing. So first thought would be that, oh, it's a fuse problem. I found that the fuse box is really quite confusing. It's not like in a normal order. I still haven't figured out what was the science behind the engineers thinking that, you know, like they'd put this in this way. So there had to be something, but I haven't cracked that code. So you go down the list, you try to find something that says power liftgate or hatch, and you get nothing. What you find are some fuses that are cryptic and they're acronyms, and in the owner's manual, no help. So you go down the list, and I pulled every fuse that might remotely be related to power liftgate, and it was coming up short, nothing. Well, it turns out it wasn't a fuse problem, but I did eventually learn along the way that fuse 39 that says VSIM number 1 here, which maps to, of course, this guy, fuse 39, which is, you know, right next to, in between fuse 104 and fuse 15. In fairness, fuse 38 is above it, but then above that is, you know, like fuse 27. So it doesn't make any sense, but it, you know, eventually you figure out, like, oh, fuse 39, there's where it is. And I don't know what VSIM number 1 means. I'm going to look that up, but that fuse 39 in fact does affect the power lift gate. And so you know, check the simple stuff first, and when that doesn't work, then you have to start working on something more complicated. And of course I started thinking, well, you know, maybe it's the actual, you know, lift gate that works inside here. Do I want to pop this open and stuff like that? Oh my god, it's going to be a project. So fortunately there was a person that posted on Jeep forums, and his post was super helpful. I want to follow up and thank him, but it was still a little bit short, no video, and he referenced a power liftgate control module, which he said, oh, it's about chest height in the back. And I'm like, in the back of what? The back of the, you know, hood, the engine compartment? Well, no, it's in the back. And he said it was really hard to get to without potentially feeling like you're going to break something. That was spot on. So it turns out it's in the back, behind this panel right here. So you probably open this panel, and it's just around the corner, kind of back in this area. And it's this module, and it looks like, you know, pretty simple, just 2 connectors. So I found one on eBay, and I'm getting ready to put that in, and hopefully everything's going to work when I put this in. So these 2 connectors are kind of hanging, maybe hard to see, right here, and then the module itself kind of clips in with these connectors. So basically should just be able to plug it in, clip it in, and then test it out and see that everything works, and button this back up, and I'm done. So we'll pause right there and see how that goes. So that's the noise that it makes normally when the hatch is open too long and it doesn't want to close. So that's a good thing. Oh, and by the way, all the electronics that tell the hatch that it's closed and all that stuff, the guy mentioned it in his post too. The motor was still like work to securely close the hatch once it's in proximity to the lock. So that tells you that this motor is probably okay. And like he said, the idea that this motor would work to close it and then somehow like not work to open it is absurd. So yeah, don't try to start looking to replace this motor or test all that out if you ever come across these symptoms in this situation. So the only way to get the hatch open was to crawl inside and then open this compartment that was here and then get to this manual latch mechanism that you feel with your hand. And of course, when you're doing that, you're afraid you're gonna get electrocuted, shocked, or get your finger caught in the gear, metal gear there that looks like it just wants to like chew into your hand. But this little latch here is the guy that would open it, and it's the only way that you could get this hatch open. Like I say, you can close it manually, and once it gets close to the lock, it will lock itself shut. So let's see if it works now. So there's where it's closing itself, and now let's see. There you go. But I probably saved at least $1,000 from going to the dealer. That module costs like $60. So that panel just goes into these slots with these type connectors, these yellow guys. You just have to be patient and careful. So hope that helps. It's a total pain in the butt. Thanks again, Jeep. It's not been good to me. It's got some pros, but man, yeah. All right, bonus material. We're gonna get this trim back in. So got the module nicely mounted back where it belongs, and when you do this, when you take it out, all the trim, to get to that module, it's probably best to pull out this guy here, the storage thing, so that you get a little bit more flex in here. Lift this up, and one thing, speaking from experience, you don't want to do, this is a total pain in the ass, is have this up and then close the hatch when you can't open it anyway but crawling inside, because now you're crawling inside and then you got this thing in the way. So then you have to reach around and unscrew this because this was like clamped down by the hatch. That sucked. So you can see how this trim panel needs to be pushed back over so all this can snap back into place. That's next. Okay, got the trim in. It never looks as good as it was from the beginning. Gap's a little too wide here, but those damn yellow things, they break off so easy. Anyway, all right, so we're gonna put this up and connect these two lights. It's easy breezy connection there, and the rest just pops in. Okay, so as long as that's all lined up right, and just don't try to slam it in. That buttoned up pretty easy and nice. Now you're back to just putting this last little piece in here. Same similar thing, no yellow tabs, just these plastic nubs. But this is what you had to do to get to that latch. Pop this off, and then you have to reach around and feel in there.